with Tina Nzuki
Dunco.
Right.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yes.
Welcome to the shenanigans of Pal Radio, but we are okay.
Oh, it's nice to be here.
Alan,
we love you.
Alan, we love you.
just
Alan,
love
you. Alan is a man of God.
Oh, yes.
He's a prophet. He's been raised up by one of the most amazing people that I know
Yes.
and that I love.
Yes.
And I'm submitted to. That's Reverend Teresa Wairumo of Faith Evangelistic Ministry. And well, Alan is here with us this morning. We're going to talk relationships.
Any.
But first, Alan, I want to ask you, what's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you?
When you ask that question,
Yes.
You're now going through the database.
Duncan, leave the man alone.
he nailed it.
He did?
There are so many, so you don't know.
Pick one from,
You know
from
that
the archives.
Alan comes from a very large family.
Yes.
And I think you're the last one.
No, sixth.
Oh, yeah, he's the sixth.
Oh, you're sixth and you're still not the last one.
Therefore, after me.
What do you mean? I love it.
Really?
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah.
Some of our siblings walikuwa tu ukifanya hiyo unashika mmoja. That is it.
But for Alan, it was like playing kati.
Wow.
Yeah. And those are just brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
There were also cousins living with us.
Imagine.
Wow.
Yeah. There were also guests, those ones who don't go.
I know those guests. When
There
your
are
house
seen
was at
guests in
school.
every household.
I
In every meantime.
Now, all you do when those guests come, you put them to work.
Oh.
Mgeni siku
they're
ya
always
kwanza.
Mgeni siku ya
helping,
kwanza.
cooking, stuff like that. So
Yes. Good stuff.
yeah.
How did you end up being so soft-spoken in a family like that? How would you tell your stories? How do you tell your stories?
But
Like,
then how do you,
Because-
in that family, you're many?
I once dated a lady who, there were many.
You
was
once
very
did?
many.
How many sisters? How many brothers and sisters?
I think there were also 7, 8 there.
You dated a lady
So
with
we used
many?
to sit when she'd take me to her place and
Yes.
we sit down.
Yes.
And stories are being told. I always kept saying, I love you. I love you. I love. So I want to give my view. But them, it's a war. No one cedes. Everyone is. You either talk over the other person so that your story can be heard. So how did you end up being so
soft-spoken and relaxed? Is the Lord?
Well, I can say I'm not the only one who's like that.
Yes.
My brothers are like that.
So it was a very silent
Yeah.
house.
No. I said brother.
Talk about the
Excuse
sisters.
you.
The rest are gifted.
It's gonna be a great day.
Spirit of
So,
God
hey,
is
listen. We're going to ask you to join in a conversation this
Yes.
morning at 25 minutes after 7 on PAL Radio. Alan, Dunco and I are just going to sit here and talk about relationships and marriage. Alan has been gifted by the Lord with just taking you through uncharted
Right.
waters when it comes to relationships or when you're trying to, find the one.
Yes.
Everyone is trying to find the one. And this has nothing to do with football. That guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The one, Mourinho.
Mourinho.
He's no longer the one. He's that one. Odea. Nikumbushe jina. Yeah. But
Yeah.
so many things have happened.
Yeah.
You can even say the order of things has changed.
Hasn't there?
Yeah, it has changed. Like the pandemic brought Nini, there's a disorder.
There was a
in
disorder.
the marital
Exactly.
Nini.
The marital scene, and then also relationships.
Yes.
And now I think people are taking a bit more time checking you out, going
Yes.
like, am I sure? Does this, can I live with this?
Exactly.
Yeah, but let's just flow with what God is working on right now. Is that okay?
That's okay.
Yeah. Twede kasi.
Okay, when you're talking about relationships, I think there's a big misconception which most of us have never really thought about.
Right.
They always think about this is a man and this is a woman. Then they come together, they try out a relationship.
Yes.
And then it works or it doesn't work.
Right.
So what they do, they describe relationships in abstract form, like that's marriage, that's that. But the truth of the matter, if you just break it down very simply, it is that man with all his mess, all his history, all his mind, to the level of his development of his mind, versus that girl with the development of her mind, all her messes and everything coming together, and there being a clash.
Where?
That is what it is.
That's what a relationship is.
That's what a relationship is. And I think people need to look at it that way. You need to keep looking at someone that, can I handle their mess? You know what I'm saying?
But
be practical.
That means there'll be a lot of rejection going on. Because now when I find out
You'd rather buy
your grandmother was 2 witches away from something, and then you have your baggage twice removed, twice, and then you have baggage from here to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
See, there'll be a lot of rejection, Alan.
It's better to just know what you're dealing with on the onset, and then first and foremost, of course, what brings people together is a common attraction.
Okay.
And they keep talking, and then they keep fellowship, the things they like and stuff like that. But it's unfortunate when it remains, you commit long term, when it's still at those very what
Young
they call
stage,
elementary stages. That's not enough for you to go into or to jump into to commit to a long-term relationship before you really know who this person is. It's very important to understand that. Okay, let me just use some business communication.
Okay.
I have done business also. I have a business background, and there's a cycle of business. One is called there's a business communication cycle. On one side is the encoder, the other side is a decoder. So there are two persons, A and B. So the first person has to encode the message, which the number B, maybe they're sending it to B, can decode.
Okay.
But in the middle of that, there is a lot of noise.
Interruption.
Yes, and that noise is what will affect that message going to the other person
Yes.
to decode it.
To decode, you're
so
right.
some of the noises that are there is, number one, the noise of experience,
Okay.
background,
Okay.
Where you're coming from.
age, perceptions.
Hey.
All these are noises. So someone can say, hey, Tina na siku hizi umekuwa mrembo. And immediately when that word goes out, all the noises of the things, people who told you that a long time ago, they already, you start hearing what the person is not saying. So what happens? Communication is normally hampered by that middle thing. So in order for you to have proper communication, you have to learn how to filter noises.
And how do you learn that?
What you need to do, people need to grow in listening.
Hey,
Unasikia Danko?
Yes.
I'm listening, Tina. I'm listening.
This one.
Yeah,
yes.
people need to grow in listening. What I mean is, you need to hear what they are not saying, as well as hear what they are saying. And then you need to stop assuming and presuming what they said. So in order for you,
say that one more time.
you need to stop assuming what they said or presuming what they said. You need to sit down and ask questions. Learn how to. One of the ways to filter noises is always ask questions again.
Right.
Correct.
And then ask them to clarify, and always give them benefit of doubt. Don't come with your guns blazing. Unaita nani monono.
There's a guy called Manoa. He just sought clarity. He said the angel comes back.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah.
Yes, and you see, if you learn to listen,
Yeah.
you will know what someone is saying and what someone is not
Is
saying.
not saying.
So if you learn how to filter, at least you'll be able to find where this person has a good soul or has got a good heart. But then let me tell you, there are very good people out there. But
They are.
But what they carry,
The
or the
noise
message,
around.
and also what they've gone through.
Yes,
Right.
the experience.
Sometimes they have to. This is a tragedy that many people don't understand, that they need therapy or counseling, or they need to be taught again. They need to
Relearn.
to heal.
Yeah.
Many people are working with. In fact, let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
This is the basis. You'll be very surprised that in relationships, everyone is taking the example of the home they came to and transferring it in that relationship, subconsciously and sometimes consciously. So what they do, they relate with you according to how, if it's a man, he's relating to you according to how his father related to his mother.
Yeah.
So most people don't know that, but what happens is, in counseling, there's a topic where people are taught that when you meet together, there are homes where everyone goes to the kitchen, serves food, and eats. In another home, all of them wait for each other at the dining and sit.
This is true.
That if somebody has grown up going to the kitchen and stuff like and just speaking, and they come together in a relationship, and this lady has been waiting for the guy.
I don't know why we're laughing, but we are laughing.
And the guy comes and he's ready. He's gone to the kitchen. She's waited for him for a few minutes. The guy has gone to the kitchen. He's demolished a piece of chicken. He's demolished something else. He's finished. He's done. And then he comes to the remote. How was your day? The woman is right there wondering, I served you. The food is here. Here are the bowls. And you see what's happening?
Yes.
She's transferring how she was brought up.
To her.
And for her, the eating together is not just eating together. Maybe it's a time to communion,
Correct.
time for fellowship,
yes.
a time to exchange pleasantries,
yes.
a time to maybe expand. So these are things which people are constantly doing in relationships, and people don't know. So what happens is you need to read all those things, and those are the things people need to know. That's just a basic example.
Yeah.
But there are other examples, like in some families, they greet each other by abuses. No.
You know why we're laughing? It's because we have had it, and we have seen this one.
Yes, and they finish the domestic animals, then they go into the wild animals. And
And to them it's normal.
Oh, now imagine that guy is dating this girl who comes from this posh home.
You know?
Well, she's called Princess. Have you woken up?
She's called something.
And the guy is just telling her when ngombe sana, you know, and the chick is heartbroken, like what do you call me? What did you call me?
What's that?
You
Listen, you're listening to the voice of Allan Maina. He's our guest this morning. We're going to take a very short break. We're talking about relating well. You're going to learn a lot this morning, laugh a lot, I believe. You're not a cow.
Yeah.
We're not going to call you that.
But the saddest bit,
imagine, Danko.
the saddest bit is that homes have broken because of that.
Imagine
because of not understanding where someone comes from.
And not even just homes, relationships, current relationships.
Yeah.
You jumped into a commitment, you forgot brother is coming with destiny, with history, with baggage. My goodness.
And even like what we were just saying, like he comes from a very big family.
Yeah.
So when you date someone who was an only child, you can imagine the imbalance. Man.
Well,
home of fresh and classic kids.
That is what we are trying to be. But we are. We got a guest with us this morning. His name is Allan Maina. Allan is he's an amazing guy. You want to be this man's friend. He's a fantastic counselor. He's a brother. He's my friend. We were put together, I don't know how many years ago, by mom, Reverend Teresa Werimo, and she said, this is your brother, this is your sister. Lakini wakanihepa. But no, he's a good guy. No, he's really, I'll tell you a story one day. Wow. And we're talking about relating well. You know, there's relating, alafu kuna relating well.
Exactly.
You come into someone's life, you've come with everything that you know, from your grandmother to your great grandmother,
your home,
how you eat with a spoon, how you smell, and you come and someone is coming with the identical stuff.
Yes.
And there's gonna be a clash. Allan has said there's gonna be a clash.
Indeed.
But do you have the fortitude to sit down, learn somebody well before you commit?
It's some of the questions that I'm trying to put together, because when you said is a clash of those characters,
right.
You know, you actually exhibit what you have been, from where you've been raised.
Yes.
Like that's what you carry through. And then you said when someone says something, you need to hear what they say and what they're not saying. What people overthinkers, then there's an imbalance. Because when, like, for example, I walk in, there are days I walk into the office, and Tina says, wow, leo mengara. Do you know where I go first? Oh, so hizo siku zingine.
Imagine this guy instead of saying thank you.
Oh, so hizo siku zingine sikwangi nimengara.
Yeah.
You get, so this and such like stuff. So please continue, sir.
Yeah, where you left us was where we were having a discussion with. So you're in a home. You've the way you people eat in your house. You're trying to do it here, but your husband has come and demolished the food
from the kitchen,
and you get upset. Or how you greet one another in the morning is not how you're greeted at home. But let's keep going.
Yes, like what I was saying, there was this family, and when I visited there, it was a shock, you know, because I was saying about people who have this tendency of being they're cut out from some people who are very their mouth is very loose.
Yeah.
Extremely loose, and they don't even have a problem.
Yeah.
Like, you cow, stop it.
And no conviction at all.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
And then this other person comes from this home where they're called princess, and then you meet such a person.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you see what happens,
Yeah.
and this is the unfortunate thing. Most people don't like saying this, but most people carry on
Yeah.
what they used to do at home into their relationships. So how they used to eat, how they used to relate, what they used to wear, how they, what they like, what they don't like.
Yeah.
So you'll notice, even if you look at diet, yeah, like there's certain homes,
Yeah.
this man loves the ugali and fish.
All right.
And there are other people who, this girl knows her father loved ugali and fish.
Yes.
And for her, that was a great thing. And she's prepared. She's bought this fish and really prepared for this man of hers or the relationship they're in. And the guy who comes, he was brought up in fries, with fries.
Yeah. Yeah.
And chicken.
Yeah.
And and ice cream.
Yeah.
And ugali is not something he loves,
Yeah.
and so she serves him, and then I'm just using an example,
Yeah.
because I'm talking this breaks into many other areas.
Yeah.
So she gets very offended when the guy doesn't appreciate that food that much. In fact, the guy could even not touch it, maybe
Yeah.
eat the fish and leave it, and for her that's a big insult. So that's what I was talking about, the middle. In the middle, when you're talking, encoding a message,
Right.
for someone to decode the message, or when you're speaking with that person, you need to be cognizant to the fact that this
Yeah.
person, or you understand that this person came from a different set of backgrounds,
Right.
different things, even different words, even meanings.
Even meanings.
They
Yeah.
all mean very differently. So it's so
Right.
important for you to sit and listen
Right.
to what the person is saying and what they're not saying. And then don't be these people who listen, and then you're building a volcano inside you. You're starting to breathe. Okay, and then bebanga hivi. I can hear.
Yep.
Take time to break it down and say, what did you mean by this ABCD?
Yeah.
And even the tone of how you ask. Yeah. What did you mean by this? No. Just, so I'm trying to say, in order to promote understanding, understanding diffuses a lot of miscommunication.
Right.
But an understanding is normally promoted by asking questions,
Yeah.
listen to the person,
Right.
understanding their background,
Right.
understanding how they grew. Like, let me give you an example. He said we grew up in a big family. In a big family, we have very different dynamics that happen there.
Correct,
Everyone
yes,
is fighting
yes.
for an attention. Let me give you an example. One time I went into the washroom.
Yes.
Yeah, well, food had just been served, and food was being served. When I came back, the food was over. I was like, "Where is my food?" Like they said, "Yeah. Where were you? You mean?" And all my bros with a piece of chicken, they knew next to be told, "Give him one." So
Yes.
guys took off, started taking off with the chicken. I said, "Hey, wait, don't serve your bro." And so others are serving, and those dynamics are there. And it was growing up. So imagine, you always have to be watchful,
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't matter what emergency is there.
Hey.
When the food is being served, you have to be.
you have to be.
You have to be there. And sometimes in those big families, what will happen is that they all competing for attention.
Right.
For the mom, or the dad, and even wants to say, no, the teacher told me this nonsense. No, teacher says this. I need these books. No, I'm the one who needs more books. And the parents are trying to. It's hard for them to balance this attention. Now, if you're that kind of person, and in my past, I think all my relatives have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereby you find yourself in a spot where you're really looking to catch someone else's attention.
Yes.
So you can grow up with a syndrome.
Yeah.
It's not really a syndrome, but in a disposition whereby you will always want to shine. Because your
makes
family,
sense.
there was
Yes.
no room. It was
war.
not natural. It was
Correct.
They never used to arrange and tell you, "Oh, come, speak. It's your time. It's opportunity." It was the loudest, the fittest for us all, and
Only the strong survive.
only the strong.
Only the strong.
And sometimes that happens a lot among siblings. Parents can try and put order, but immediately they turn around.
The disorder quickly.
You just grab the meat of your younger brother, pull it back, and then he learns to fight. So let's say he comes into an organization.
Yes.
Yeah, So you will find a lot of competing games.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can become competitive in nature, and so you're in this place, and you are in a relationship. There's nothing to compete with, but you're still competing with this person who's going to outshine the other person.
Yes. And you're married to them.
Yes, and
My
in your
God.
mind or dating them.
Yeah.
In your mind, those voices are still continuing.
Hiya.
Yes.
Hiya.
This is the noise I'm trying to talk about. So you really need to know those things. Those are dynamics which are still affecting your relationship now. So in your mind, you're still hearing these voices.
Yes.
You're still trying to affirm yourself. There is also something about there's a disposition they talk about the middle child.
Correct.
Yes, like for example, if you're 10, the middle child are normally ignored.
They are.
The first ones are always being punished,
Yes,
and sin. Then the middle one comes and they're the favorite. Then all of a sudden they have a little sister or brother.
So they stop.
Then
being
they're
the parent.
forgotten.
Yes.
Then they're always been told, watch the baby, watch the baby, watch the baby. And the first one has been told, where are you? Where are you?
Yes.
And the middle one, no one is talking to the middle one. So the middle one, you start dating someone like that, they always feel left out. They're always trying to shine.
They have FOMO.
Yeah. So what you need to do, you need to study yourself, understand those dynamics, so that in a relationship, yes, when you're entering a relationship, you stop. You stop.
There are things you have to stop.
Yeah,
right?
being sometimes you're too much. It's good to know that, yeah? Because if you're not in the same situation, especially with someone who for them it's opposite. Yes, you find yourself you're chasing people whom you should be embracing.
Hey, Alan, there are some people who stay in that state for a very long time.
Yes.
You try to talk to them, you try to even bring them to a place of understanding. They're just raw, you know.
Yeah, okay. You need also to understand, as I spoke about noise.
Yeah.
I said noise is basically maybe the person's experience,
right?
The background, and also in experience, we're also talking about some certain injuries the person faced.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some people are still healing and issues like those. So what you need to know when you're dating someone who's heartbroken and stuff like that, it's for you to know to understand. Be the bigger person and understand.
Right.
Try and get them books. Because sometimes you can keep telling someone, but let's be honest, you're not the most gifted speaker. You are not the most gifted speaker to that person.
Yes.
And even if you're a speaker, you're not necessarily called to that person.
Correct.
Yes, you need to know who are your battles.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
Who are your assignments. So you could be dating someone, but they will never hear you. But if they had it from another man, maybe that, maybe in their mind, their father was their source of teaching and inspiration. So if you got a father figure whom they respected, maybe that father figure would be in a position to be able to correct some of those things. So you need to understand that when you're dealing with matters or you're relating and issues like those, there's going to be a lot of auto-correcting that is necessary. It's not just restoration. It's some people who are being people have to be restored to be whole people, and it takes time because our homes are not necessarily whole people, because our parents are broken. And especially this side of the world, and in fact all over the world, people have been subjugated to very strong systems, government systems which were very hard on issues, which became very hard on education systems, which became very hard on parents, and colonial systems and issues, and those parents are still reeling from the effects of that, and disorientation and poverty and issues like those.
They're passing it down.
So they passed it down. They've slapped you
properly,
just when it was unnecessary. So
they see you
so people have gone through all that. So what happens is you have to understand that, so that this is just to tell you, understand your partner's noise.
Understand your partner's noise.
Yes, and know where they're coming from. Try and deceive her. Try and hear what they're really saying. Because some people, when they say something negative, they're trying to compliment you. But they speak in negative connotations where they come from.
Sio sura yako leo ni mbaya.
And it's everywhere, and there's some people who also it comes with curse words. And issues like those. And so once you understand that, and then you need to understand there are other people in these positions where they all keep quiet in their homes.
Correct.
When they're very angry, whatever. So you will be just speaking keeping on pricking that guy, but the guy is just boiling, just waiting for the day. Before you know it, you feel a slap which you never thought.
Yeah.
When you go tell people say, no, he's an abuser, he's a what? But you see, you didn't read into that. Even people who are quiet, you need also to understand that disposition, because silence also speaks. It's not
silence also speaks.
Yes,
correct.
I have a friend who
Correct.
it's called DJ Sanchez. Me, he surprises me. We can sit in the house and watch TV. He'll be silent 90% of the time. But when
So he's saying something.
so I always I'm trying to understand. So now what do I?
You always like kelele around you,
I'm a good friend,
Danko.
so I always bring up topics, and then he answers very well, and then he finishes.
And then goes back
He might not even look at the TV. You ever see people who can stay in the
into
air?
the air,
And
yes.
he's just quiet. He's an amazing friend. But and I'm trying to understand where. So imagine someone from that situation, and then someone else who's from a different perspective altogether.
Completely.
And maybe they are making permanent decisions from
Correct.
those temporary situations because they have not understood their partner's noise.
Right.
Yes.
And personalities.
Yes.
How easy is it for me to understand someone's to hear, and all I do is talk?
I'm gonna make you hold that question. You remember it, yeah? We need to catch up with news, but you're listening and you're thinking, I have to make a comment. We're gonna open up in the next hour so that Allan can hear you, and maybe you have a question for him as well, apart from a comment. But is this helping you? Are you now understanding where you're coming from and why you are the way you are? And remember, this is no judge zone. We are a judge-free zone, and we just love the Lord, and this is really help us time. So feel free. Our number to text is 0702 969 969, or you can go ahead and call us on 0701 969 969. Heads up, good stuff. My name is Tina Nzuki.
My name is Dunco Atalaku.
And Allan Maina.
We're on Pal Radio 96.9. How to relate well. Do you have any questions for this amazing brother of ours seated with us this morning? We have laughed. We have almost teared up. We are. Do you have a comment? You're like, me, I want to comment. Please feel free.
Yeah.
We are open on 0701 969 969. You want to do that now?
Exactly.
That'll be fantastic.
And of course, there's that question I was asking.
Yeah.
Like character traits. Like for some of us sanguines, it's very, very difficult to sit in silence. Very difficult.
This is true. It is true.
I have walked out during exams. Like I just stand and walk, because I'm like, if I sit here another minute, my head will blow. I'm not used to being this calm and quiet.
That's Danko.
Like
for sure.
And it's crazy. But of course, that comes from my background and school and etc. So how do you understand? Because you're saying you need to take note of your noise. You talked about an encoder and a decoder. It's kind of like a transmitter and a receiver.
How does one take note?
How do you take note of
your noise? Your noise, so that by the time I'm coming towards Danko noise, I'm like, I hear what he's saying without him saying it.
Yes, or even I'm having a bad day, a bad morning. But I know when I come to work, if I allow this bad morning to affect me, I will affect her.
Correct. And then the whole show is gonna get affected.
Yes.
All right, let me also encourage somebody. We need to keep learning, and there's some things which are very important in learning. What I would suggest is, let's invest in learning about how to better communicate. Better communication and communication skills. Let me give you an example. There is a famous what is it called, comedian in Kenya.
All right.
And he used to have a show, I think on Thursday, on one of the main media stations,
right,
in the evening. And he also had a radio show,
right,
in the morning.
Right.
So I remember one time in the morning they had a very controversial topic.
Correct.
That brought a lot of
heated exchange
with people, even, and people hated that guy. Oh no, they had mean things to say, because it really elicited a lot of emotion. But in the evening, the same comedian, everyone was talking well about him. So what he had done in the morning, he was using like a pseudo, like a pseudo, a pseudo character.
Yeah.
So on the same day, people were expressing a lot of anger towards his pseudo in the morning, and a lot of love and administration to his pseudo in the evening on TV.
All right.
And something in their mind was not
Clicking
that this is the same person that they are all
Exactly.
angry about him.
Yeah.
So it was so funny because they were watching this, they are laughing. Oh my God, this is fantastic.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you switched it, the same undertone even the next day, because it went on for a while.
Yeah.
This guy is doing something bad to our wives, and he should be crucified.
Yeah.
So it was very funny.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say from that is, you need to understand on how to separate,
Yeah.
yourself, especially when you're communicating, and learn how to, when you're especially a media personality or a public speaker, or you're operating in sensitive places and people,
Right.
you need to learn how to create like a pseudo-like character.
Oh.
You understand what I mean? To be able to better communicate, so that you don't have to bring your drama everywhere you go.
Oh, there are people who have a hard time creating that.
Yes, and it's not everyone who can do it, but what happens in communication, that's what I'm telling you, it's something to learn.
Yes.
Right.
So that you understand that so that we don't keep burning your bridges.
That's true.
You don't keep on getting
fired.
fired. You don't keep on burning companies and burning your relationships. So you what you say is not necessarily you're separating yourself, but you're saying, I will put on, not that you're faking or hypocrisy, but what you're saying, we're not talking about hypocrisy. We're talking about, I'm going to put on, that is called maturity.
That's maturity.
Maturity is when I know where to take my mess to. It's not everyone who I need to spill my beans out there.
Nice.
It's unwise to spread all dirty linen for all sundry to see.
So you need to know who to take your mess to.
Yes.
Because not everybody's going to accept your mess.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, and also when you're dating or having a relationship, that's not the day to come and start telling people, I know I almost killed someone when I was 2 years ago. This guy came to me, and then you've lost the guy right there,
Yeah.
Yeah, first and foremost, when you look at somebody, just try and find some common areas of commonality. Learn how to first build where you common areas. Once you build those common areas, and then you build a bit of trust, then you can open up a little more. If that person
decides to walk away,
if that person decides to walk away, you're not hurt. You say that he's fallen into the zone of just an associate or somebody like that. Someone just I know. But if you from the onset go open up deep things, mysteries my father told me when I was a baby, secrets of the family, where our titles are, land we nyakuad from a neighbor, all these things. When the person leaves, I've had that.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, when someone leaves, I've had. Sometimes we are too excited, and you're too excited. You've met this person. Let me tell you, you're my soulmate. I think I've known you for my life.
Right.
No, you've not known that person.
No.
You need to know their other side. You need to know their mess. You need to know what they're dealing with.
Noise.
You need to know the noise. And then in terms of noise, we're just talking about background. We basically spoke about background, especially public background. But in noise, there's also hurts, bad experiences, previous relationships, traumas. Now that's another dimension.
It's another
if you're
dimension.
dealing with someone who's gone through trauma, through someone who's been hurt, being wounded,
that's right,
someone who's been heartbroken over several times, over a matter in several ways, you need to also be very careful, because that also will affect your relationship. So are we talking about doom and gloom? No, I'm talking about even in the family background. If you understand it better, and just get wisdom around it, you will know how to work with that person.
That's right.
Even when they have trauma, you can, like, I know, Tina, there are areas which are traumatic for you, but having understood that, I already know, okay, no, this is not good for that person, this one is not good for that person. So I can avoid that area. That's a trigger. So I can avoid that. It's not bad. So what happens is we learn how to deal with those things better. We become more informed, more mature.
Okay.
So in coming back to creating, like, for example, a pseudo-like character, I'm not talking about creating a pseudo-like character. I'm talking about building a face of maturity, that when I go, like, for example, I'm a minister, I'm a pastor, and I'm going to people, that's not the day to come and tell people, I'm having a mental breakdown in church. and you've been praying for all these people, and all these guys are in church. I just thinking, what is happening here? No. They'll say, "Oh, no, go to this church." Or they'll start saying, "Amma, that even the information he told me, maybe it was stress." You know? No. That's the time when you go move aside, call senior pastors, tell them, "Oh God, we got wonderful speakers this month. We're bringing in Brother Danko.
Yes, come
I'm
on,
telling you, we're bringing a worshiper, a minister, Tina. She's got. Oh, you're holding forth for us right now.
Yeah.
And me as a pastor, I'm going to seek the Lord. I feel a word is coming." Then the pastor go out and close that door and, "Oh, Jehovah, why did you leave me?" "Why, Jehovah?" Now you can go do that because I go take it. Seek for more senior men of God. Go open there, take your mess there. It's just maturity.
It's maturity.
Same thing. Yeah. You can't be all these guys who are here in media and everything, and then they are breaking down when you're reading news. You know, stuff like that.
Listen,
I'm telling you, Sharon. I didn't eat well, Can you imagine?
Listen, do you have any comment? Do you have a question for Allan this morning? Maybe a comment or a question. The lines are open. 0701 969 969. You're probably learning something and you're just checking by yourself. Come check out with us. 0701 969 969. Oh, you have a question and you feel like I need to text this one. Go ahead and send it to 0702 969 969. But are you learning something this morning? You need to, understanding your soul, the sounds of your soul.
Exactly.
Understanding
the noise.
You know what? Once I was told by a prophet, your soul is loud. I was like, yes, it's louder. And I had no clue what they're saying. But when I sat down and listened, man, story for another day.
And on all we're talking about today, you know, some relationships, some marriages have broken
just because
you made a decision without taking note of the other person's noise, or your noise, looking at what their past looked like.
All right now,
my mind is blown.
Your relationship or your marriage is on the verge of breaking.
Yes.
But we pray to God what you're hearing today is going to translate into a healing for you.
So take an audit, figure out what's going on.
Your personal mess is not for everybody to see, you know.
And when you say personal mess, what is that?
Like, for example, maybe you have a deep quarrel, or you have or a very personal issue, or you have an addiction issue, or issues which are very strong. So it doesn't mean that when you don't expose it before people, it's like you're being hypocritical. Take it to where it needs to be taken to. Like, for example, to an anointed counselor who has the wisdom and the capacity and the ability to help you out of that issue. So it's that's what it means. That's what it means. It means that when you want to relate, let's say you want to relate with somebody, always understand that not everyone is a therapist. So that you keep burdening them down with all your traumatic experiences in life, and some of them can't hack those things.
Exactly.
You know, I worked in a long time ago. I worked in trying to rehabilitate like ex prisoners and guys in the ex drug world and criminals, ex criminals.
Yes.
And I want to let you know there are people who can speak to you. You'll not sleep for a year, you know.
What do you mean?
Allan.
So you know, imagine that guy coming to spew all that on someone who's not mentally prepared or has the capacity to handle that. So learn where to take your mess. Take your mess to the people who are trained for it. And now, especially if you're dating, then what you need to do is give it a step at a time. Not everything needs to pour out the then. But what people need to do is people need to learn to understand each other, talk, and find some way of understanding, okay, who this person is, where they come from, what are we going the same direction. That really helps a lot. It will save you from so many heartbreaks. And then don't bite too deep. Bite too deep is you entering a relationship with all your head, your hand, your everything. You know, some girls just see the BMW and that's it. This is the guy, Nini, and all that stuff. And you know, you don't even know where he's coming from.
Wow.
Yeah. Or vice versa. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, keep those comments coming in and the questions coming in, or you can quickly call 0701 969 969.
And of course, Yes. Then of course the quality of the character traits. So where do they come in and how do they affect this, what you're talking about, like understanding your partner, their background and the noise?
All right. So when you want to understand somebody well,
Yes.
it's understanding somebody is like a book. Just like a book. You go to the table of contents and you go through the book. So first, number one in the table of contents is background.
Right.
Yes. Understand the person's background. Then content is character.
Correct.
Character is built over time.
All right.
And it's usually built by choices people have made.
That's right.
Yes.
It's usually built by choices people do like continuously. You know
Correct,
what I mean? Yeah. Some people say that continuous thoughts can create, a continual mindset, which can create a continual, if followed through a behavior.
A
then
behavior.
then
It's gonna
after
show up.
behavior, then it will develop into a character.
Correct.
So what you need to do is when you check someone's character, when you talk about character, we find, is this person good? Is this person faithful?
Yeah,
Is this person
yeah.
kind?
Yes.
Is this person godly? Is this person trustworthy?
Yes.
Trustworthy.
Those are
yes.
things which happen when
need
you
to
walk
look
with the
for.
person. Yeah.
Okay.
And not only that, develop them yourself. So that
Yes,
you're not
so that
you're
you're
not
not
asking
just
for a
looking.
prince and you're not a princess. You know what I'm saying? These things of dreaming, of trying to reach things which you yourself don't want to give.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. In fact, let me throw a spanner. Eh?
Okay, go ahead.
Now, there is a friend of mine, a lady. She told us that she told God,
Yes.
yeah, I want to marry an ugly man.
Why?
She said, because you know me. She said, I'm from a certain part of this country, and you know my temper. I will pick an axe and finish anyone who's gonna try and come for my man. So to avoid that, just give me an ugly man
Who no one will want.
Yes. So even wherever he is, I have peace. I know no one wants to come close to that guy.
Really?
But then she asked God, but however, if you can, throw in American height.
All right.
That height is what they are going to come for.
Wait for it. Twende kazi. Eh?
I'm not saying anything, but she just told me she married a very tall guy with yellow eyes, yellow teeth. I'm just talking about what she told me. Yeah. And I can repeat it because she gave me permission
Yes.
to repeat it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think she's even listening.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so she okay, they were married for like 15 years.
Right.
Later on the man died. But you know,
yeah.
but anyway, they got children. The
Yes.
children are big now.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say from that statement is,
Yeah.
you see, she understood her noise. That's what I'm just trying to say.
She understood her noise. I really like this. I've never
Understanding
understood.
noise.
I've never had understand your noise.
Yes.
Because in
yeah.
understanding it, would understand your
Yes.
wengine.
Yes.
Oh, but they keep calling 0701969969. We see you, and we're going to pick your call in just a few. Go on.
Yes, and what happens is when you keep praying that you want this guy, I want a guy who will do this for me, a guy who's like this, who's like this, like this. The question is, what are you bringing? You who wants that guy? You know, you want a prince, be a princess.
Oh, wow.
You want a guy who's rich, have a mind of managing wealth.
Managing
Yes,
wealth.
even do a
Okay.
course of managing wealth.
Hiya.
Yeah, it's not just that a guy drops $1 million and you're there with Versace and and Chanel bags and high heels and all over. And you've not invested. You've not done any assets. You don't know about stocks trading. You don't know anything. So you're here, guys.
Yes.
Who wants to marry anyone who's just coming to eat and eat?
Duncan, put your hand down.
No, me, I'm the one who's eating. So
Oh,
I
you're
want to
the-
marry.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, but what I mean
hear
is,
you. Yes.
that person has when you're dancing, it has to be a rhythm. Yeah, when you're even on the dance floor, and let's say maybe you're doing the tango or the salsa or whatever you're doing, there has to be that rhythm.
Right.
And the rhythm is this. Yes, me, I've come with the money, with the things and stuff like that. But when I give it to you, at least you can manage it well. You can multiply. We can multiply our assets.
All
we
right.
can increase our wealth. So that's what I'm talking about. Be a princess if you want a prince.
Good morning, you're in Paro.
Ebony!
Hi, Ebony. How you doing?
Niko salama Salmin.
All right. Go ahead.
So, okay, nimeelewa hiyo part ya understanding the noise kidogo.
Okay.
But now I have a question about understanding the silence.
Oh,
Sasa
smart.
umefanya kitu mzuri ama
Yeah.
mbaya,
Yeah.
alafu mwenzako amenyamaza.
Yeah.
Kwanza watu wanafaa ambiwe hii si tabia mzuri because you're giving me unnecessary ulcers, migraine, tumbo inajaa hewa. Because now I don't know, are you happy? Are you sad?
Sad.
Nimekukosea, umefurahia. So fungue mdomo. Why are you giving a mouth if you cannot even
Right.
speak? What is wrong with this one?
Okay.
You're not
Yeah,
understanding
because-
noise.
Yeah.
Communication is
Yes,
two way.
key.
And wanasemanga sijui 90-something% is non-verbal.
Ah.
Sasa non-verbal ndo mimi sielewi na ndio mingi.
Got
That's
it.
the one I would like to know. Because hata mimi na Dominic now we are not understanding one another. Mimi nampenda naye ajui.
Good stuff. Let Alan answer you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey. Okay.
Did you get what he was saying?
Yes, I got what he's saying, and this is what I was going to say. That issue of someone who keeps that one, if he just needs to take time before he even talks about the current relationship right now. Let him go into her background. Let him go into her space.
Her space.
Yes,
Okay.
go find out what is comfortable
Okay.
for her. Yeah. In other words, that noise, that character of being quiet like that, it came from somewhere.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Yes.
And he needs to take time before he's even done anything. Let him take time and try and find out where, because silence also speaks,
Yeah.
and silence is very
Sure.
loud.
Silence is loud. It
Yes,
is
silence
loud. This is
so
true.
if someone is keeping that way,
Right.
and she's keeping that way, he needs to find out two things. Number one, does at home. That's why you need to have a good relationship with where your wife comes from, or issues like those.
This is true.
Yeah, or so if she can tell you this, or you try and find out where is that coming from. Is that the character trait? Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, try and find out when she's silent. What does she mean?
Oh,
So
yeah.
give it a good time.
Correct.
You settle down first now. Give the person like some time,
Right.
and then do for them what they like. Like for example, if they like going for coffee or something, take them there. And then what you do is write maybe a note.
Yes.
Like I understand this about myself. This, and I would also want to understand a bit about you. Just meet in the middle. So
I like that.
take the
Yeah.
relationship out, sit
Yes.
somewhere,
Yes.
and then let the person come out of that silence
Yes.
and tell them what it means. You may be very surprised. It could be something very serious. Yeah, maybe they're not telling you.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to take a very short break. But when we come back, Alan is going to give you homework.
Yeah.
This is going to be a homework. Listen carefully for the instructions.
Yeah.
What you need to do, and then check yourself in about a week. You can even check with him through his Facebook, handle,
Yes.
Alan Joe, and tell him I've done this. This is what I'm noticing.
Yes.
So we got homework for you because we're the station that's gonna leave you with homework. You have got to do this not just for you, but for the people you love or the people you're getting into a relationship
Right.
or are relating with today. And remember, there is healing. This can heal. It doesn't have to stay that way forever. Good stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Join Tina Nzuki and Dunco on Pearl in the Morning.
Weekdays from 5:30 a.m. to 10 a.m.